In this video, I'm going to share with you how YouTube deleted about 20 plus of my channels and demonetized most of them, the mistakes I did, the lessons I've learned from it, and how you can avoid such mistakes so that your channel or your channels will not be demonetized. About 4 years ago, I started YouTube, and then I didn't know what I was doing. I was just doing anything I think I know how to do. Then, looking back, I can say that I didn't know anything just because I felt like, okay, I can edit a bit of a video, I can do a bit of graphic design, and I know how to use the internet. I felt like I can do YouTube, just like maybe most of you. But I realized that there is more to it than what I knew. And in the quest of learning and exploring, I had about, I can't remember the exact number, but maybe 25, but it was more than 20. And then I was just running them from relationship to motivation to language to sports to lifestyle. I had a lot. Then one of the motivations I had was hopefully I'll monetize the channels and then get paid, and then I could quit my job so that I'll concentrate on these channels. From sermons to a whole lot. Beauty. I remember I was doing beauty tips, food, nutrition. Most of them I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't even have knowledge in a field. I was just learning and pouring. So it's not like I really knew. I was just learning on the internet and pouring back in the videos. And then some of it were faceless, some of it had my face. And then that was how I was running a channel. I was still doing my 9 to 5 job, which took a lot of my time. And one of the lessons I learned in that space was that human beings, we give ourselves excuses of not having enough time to do a lot of things. But once there's a hard drive to get something done, you see, I was doing my 9 to 5. I had little time, but still, I managed to have time for all these plenty channels that I wasn't even making money from, but I was spending money on the internet, on time, and a lot of things. So that was one of the lessons I learned, and I realized that I had the potential to manage a lot of things at the same time. Yeah. So moving on to how I got this channel demonetized. On YouTube, there are policies and there are guidelines. Not that I didn't know them, but I've read and I've seen people doing things on the same platform that I thought I could get my way around or do it like the way they are doing it. And so I was one of the channels I had was Christian sermons, that I take the sermons from maybe a pastors. I download it from their pages, listen carefully, cut it into pieces where people will find, they can't listen to the whole sermon, but they can listen to part of it and get something out of it. That was what I was doing. I knew there was copyright, and I knew I can get a copyright strike for the channel to be deleted, but I've seen a lot of people doing it. So I just told myself, why not me? That was what I was doing. And then one morning I woke up and I realized that one of my channels has crossed 1,000 subscribers. And that particular channel that crossed 1,000 subscribers was a channel where I was teaching graphic design. And because that one was, in quotes, let me say, an original content created by me, I was very happy that at least something that I have originally created has been able to amass that amount of subscribers. So I was really happy. Just not long after, I think the same day, I can't remember, but it could be the same day or maybe a few days later, then I got another notification that my channel has been deleted. And I was a bit confused because I didn't know why. I had not opened the email then. So when I opened the email, I realized that the channel has been deleted. All other channels too has been deleted. That day, I think I came back from work because I wasn't able to concentrate, and I was shivering. You know how you can put in more effort, you can put all your effort into something, and then just within a short time, you realize that everything has gone down to the drain. That was what was happening to me. Then I also borrowed money from my wife with the hope that I'll make money on YouTube, pay her back. So now that everything has gone down the drain, I still owe my wife. And if you happen to be married and this circumstance can cause a lot of trouble. So I was in real hot trouble, not just my YouTube channel deleted, but in the house too. But you that aside, I was able to go through the emails one by one, realized and figure out how or why. When you're on YouTube, you know that anytime YouTube do something to you or send you a notification, they are always around the bush. They don't give you the exact reason. If they demonetize you, if they delete your channel, if they give you a copyright strike, sometimes copyright strike might be direct, but most of the other things, they will just say you violated a guideline. They don't tell you exactly what you've done. So upon digging, then I realized that one of the channels that I told you earlier was about Christian sermons. The pastor or the owner of the content has striked the channel. And then on YouTube, when you are striked 3 times, within 90 days, your channel will be deleted. And you cannot, or you are not allowed to create another channel. And then this leads me to the first mistake that I want to share with you and that we all can learn from. The mistake I did was that I had used one email to create all these plenty channels. And because they are all linked to one email, if the channel that was deleted is sanctioned or is blocked or is deleted, the email link to it is also blocked from creating other channels. So therefore, any other channel related to that email is also deleted. That is how all my other channels were deleted. Not that the channels themselves had a problem, but because they were linked to another channel on the same email. So that was my first mistake that I had to learn the hard way. So since then, I've been advising anybody I come into contact, don't create all your channels on one email. If you want to create, let's say, so if you don't know, I don't know, maybe now they've changed it, but one email can handle 50 channels. If you have one Gmail account, you can handle 50 channels. But that doesn't mean you should do that. It's a very expensive risk to take. You don't have to create all your channels on one email. If you have 5 channels, no matter the amount of channels, try to use different emails for them. Yeah, so that was my first mistake that I had to learn. But I mean, it came at a cost. So that aside, I decided I won't do YouTube again. So I'm just trying to tell you my story, the lessons out of it, then we move on. So I decided not to do YouTube again. But ironically, my wife, whom I have taken money from, and her money is lost in this game that we are doing, she rather had the drive to continue. But me, I said, I won't waste my time doing YouTube again. So I had to rely on something else to occupy my time, make me money and all that. Yeah, so let me fast forward like 2 years time. Yeah, maybe around 2 years. I was out of my job looking for another job. And then, yeah, because I'm more into graphic design, obviously, I was looking for a job related to graphic design and all that. And then my wife told me that she has seen a YouTube channel based in Ghana that she thinks that whoever is doing their graphic design might not be that good, so I can apply based on my skill. I'm more likely to be picked or employed just because she thinks I'm better than whoever is there. I don't know whether I get my story. So because I'm a graphic designer, YouTube thumbnails are very key, and you need a good graphic designer to help you with thumbnails. So well, I applied, and I was employed, not because I was a good graphic designer or they needed a graphic designer for that particular position I was thinking, but they needed a graphic designer for another company linked to the YouTube channel. That's how I can explain it. So I was employed, and then it was the greatest thing I can say had ever happened to me relating to the YouTube journey, how I've evolved, how I've learned, how I've grown. It was one of the greatest opportunities I've ever had. And then Before then, too, I had been I've been exposed to learning business and finances. So I had the mindset before I went there that anywhere you're employed, focus less on the money, focus more on the experience and how much you can learn and get out of where you are. So I went with the mindset of learning. Number one, YouTube. Number two, how a company is run or operates, and working with people. Yeah, so that was the mindset I had. So even the salary I mentioned when they asked me in the interview how much I want to take, the salary I mentioned, my, me myself, I knew it was way too small, but I didn't want that to consume me. If it's now mentioned a lot of money, but I didn't want the money to consume me so that I can focus on the learning. And then fast forward, I got opportunity to work not on the YouTube, but on the other side of the business, as I said earlier. So, but I was also close to whoever was handling the YouTube channels. I got opportunity to handle another YouTube channel of the same company. So I learned a lot. I learned how to get views. I learned how to it's not just as easy as you say get views, but there are petty things that goes into it. How to make your video appealing to your audience, a whole lot of other stuff that I learned from there. And so I got the motivation to try YouTube again. This is another big lesson that I want to share with you. When you are exposed to the right knowledge, the right resources, the right people, it doesn't take you long to succeed. Imagine I've been doing YouTube for 2, 3 years before. It never worked. It never, my channel even got deleted. I didn't know what I was doing. But when I was exposed to this company, just within 3 months, I got motivated to start. And 3 months after, I was monetized. So when I say I was monetized, then you should know that I was able to start a channel, get 1,000 views, get more than 4,000 subscribers, get consistent views to the point where I could monetize easily. So it was like eye opening for me. You see, you can't do this alone, especially when you don't know anything or you've not done it before. You can't do it alone. You need somebody to guide you. You don't have to know the person in. I've had a lot of people contact me to help them. I've never seen them anywhere. I've never met them anywhere, from Nigeria, from Dubai, a lot of other places. And I don't take anything from them. Not just because I just want to help, because somebody helped me just the way they want to help me without thinking of taking money from me. You see, so meeting the right people, knowing the right people, having access to the right people can help you, not just in this YouTube game, but everything you want to do. It will be easy, way easy, I tell you. So if you are doing something, you are struggling, stuck, you just expose yourself to the right people, especially without having a mindset or the conscience of money. Don't be thinking of money always. Just expose yourself to these people. You will learn a lot and you can succeed in a few. So let's move on. And then I was able to monetize. And for me, I would like to prove my knowledge. I don't want to, it's like, okay, chance. No. So I said, okay, this thing I've done, I've been able to monetize. Let me really prove to myself that I really know and not just a one-off chance. So I had another channel that my wife started then. Okay, I said, let's change the content. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. We changed a few things, and in another few months, we monetized again. I said, oh, okay. Then it seems like what I've learned or what I know really works. For me to prove to myself that I really know the third time again, I said, let me try again. So I started a new channel with a friend. I told him that I can monetize a channel within 90 days. And myself, I was a bit scared, but I wanted to put what I know to the test. So he was shocked because we've done it before and it didn't work. So why am I now saying that I can monetize a channel within 90 days? So he gave me the opportunity. We started together within 40 something days. It's just a little above a month. We monetized and he was shocked. I wasn't shocked. I don't want to say shocked. I was happy because what I know works. That is, I've proved out what I know works. And since then, I've been trying to learn and improve and improve. What I want to say is that YouTube is about 95% knowledge and maybe 5% luck. If you leave it to me, I would say 1% luck. But for the masses, let's say 5% luck. You need 95% of knowledge for it to work. Those people at the top and they are doing it is knowledge. They know what they are doing. It's not just putting things together. They know what they are doing. You can't just do anything and expect it to work. They know what they are doing. Do you understand? Let's move on with my story. So I proved to myself that I was able to do it. And I think that was the fastest then that I've monetized the channel within 40, I don't know, 44, I don't remember, but something like that. And he was really happy. We were both happy. Now, this seems like a success story or like, yeah, you've made it. No, it was just the beginning of a whole lot of things to come, things I need to learn, things I need to know. Just 2 months after, or let's say November that year, I don't remember how long, but okay, July, so 5 months or 4 months thereabout, I got my first demonetization. I was very confused. I was like, I thought this work. I thought this and this gives you this. It was like another chapter I need to learn and move on. So not just one, not just two, about 4 or 5 channels. Okay, so we've evolved into exploring, just like I was doing before, exploring with different niches, knowing what works, what yeah, that's how I want to learn. I want to learn just exploring and finally decide on something. I don't want to, yeah, that is how even if it takes me 3 years, I want to explore. Some people might say it's a waste of time, but that is how I want to approach things. I got about 4 or 5 channels demonetized. And when if you're in the YouTube game and you are earning money out of it, and all of a sudden the money doesn't come again, you know that it's a bomb. It's like a blow in your face. It makes you confused, and if it takes more courage, more intention to bounce back and make things work. So I told myself, okay, this is something I'm not used to. I knew you can be demonetized, but I didn't know that it could come so soon and so unawares like this. And then I had to now figure out what to do. So, as I said earlier on, some of these things YouTube doesn't tell you why you were demonetized. They will just put on a whole general something. Your channel has been demonetized for we found that your channel doesn't comply with some. They don't say the specific thing, so you have to figure out yourself. That came, and then I realized that it is nothing really, because those channel, what they had in common were they were all sermons. So I realized that okay, it could be that because the content wasn't made originally by me, but I was just repurposing it. If you want to know how I dealt with demonetization, how I was able to reapply and got accepted again into the YouTube Partner Program, subscribe and watch my next video.